Okay, here we are back again with Kerbal Space Program Race. Space Program. KSP, that's right. Jim Pettibone here. Okay, so we're going to go orbiting 101 training. This training scenario covers the basics of flying a spaceship in orbit, essential maneuvers like raising and lowering apoapsis and periapsis nodes. Also, important concepts such as terms of what those two words mean. You'll start off on a low circular orbit around Kerbal with Orbiter 1 training craft ready to go. Okay. This is somewhat scary, I think. Okay. Welcome to Orbiting 101 Training. I'm Gene Kerman. I'm going to teach you the basics of orbiting. We're sinking slowly. I assume you're already done the basic flight tutorials and now ready to learn how to get around in space. If you haven't done them, well, I hope you know what you're doing. Let's get started. Okay. Orbiting 101 basis. Orbiting is really nothing more than free falling. The only thing is that as you fall, you're moving so fast forward you actually miss the ground. Because you're up here, there's no atmosphere to slow you down at this height. And you will continue to free fall endlessly, and we are, around the planet without having to use your engines. We are currently on a low, almost circular orbit around Kerbal. To get a better view of your situation, press M key to go to the map view. M. This is your map view. Okay. Here you can see your ship's position and its current trajectory around the planet. Hold right click and move the mouse. Okay. I was almost afraid to do that. See your orbit from various angles. Okay. Also, hovering over the icons on the map will display more information about them. And by right-clicking on the node, you will close the map when you're ready. Okay, what's this? Perhaps 200,000, 199,000. Okay. Well, what else to look at? Okay. All right. Close the map. All right. Altitude and SAS. Good. Let's get practical now. I trust you already know basic spacecraft controls. Very little. Up here, they're very much the same, except the lack of atmospheres make the ship behave quite a bit differently because there is no drag slowing you down. For every input you apply, you'll have to apply an opposite one to come to a stop again. I'm going to remotely nudge your altitude controls a little. Try to get the ship back under controls. If you find yourself totally out of control, hit T to toggle the SAS. It will automatically cancel. No. Yes. Ready. Oh, there you go. There. You're piloting now. Stop rotation using pitch, yaw, and... Oh, no. SW? Let's make it spin faster. That's not helping. AD? No, D. We. That's, huh. Well, we're just, spinning faster. No. Nav ball to orientate yourself instead of looking at the ship. How much fuel we got? Oh, lots, I guess. Okay. And what? Huh. Okay. SAS. Nicely done. Attitude control is an essential skill for spacecraft pilot. Master it and you'll be well on your way to become an expert pilot. You can try this again if you want, or press next. Yeah, we're already going. Orbiting 101, the nav ball. Alright, let's look at the nav ball now. You've probably seen the symbols on it when you were spinning around. Here's what they mean. Prograde, retrograde vectors, they point you towards and away from your velocity vector, respectively. That is, it points to and away from where you're going. Radial in and out vectors, they point towards and away from the current orbiting body. Normal and anti-normal vectors, they are perpendicular to the orbital plane. They point upwards and downwards with respect to the orbital plane. Let's try something a little more involved. Open your map again. Alright. Alright. What we want to do now is go through some basic maneuvers you'll need to know. Try raising your apoapsis first. It's the highest point, which is marked by AP. Okay? Right. What? It's best place to raise your apoapsis is the periapsis, which is the lowest point of your orbit. If you hover the mouse on the periapsis mode, you will see that we are going to reach it in a few minutes. Once there, we will face prograde and burn. Press period. Okay, time is passing 5 times faster than normal, so it should be... Alright, good. Now to do our burn. Turn the ship to face the prograde vector now. Press Z key to accelerate at full throttle. The opposite side of your orbit starts to... Yeah, okay. Keep thrusting. Prograde 800,000. Well, I don't... Until you're up... X. That's how you raise your... Okay. With orbital maneuvers, pretty much, and we burn some fuel, okay, affect the opposite side of your orbit. So raise your highest point, so you thrust forward your prograde your lowest point. So really raise, press next when you're ready, and we'll work to get there quickly. Okay? Okay, we're on the way to apoapsis mode. Notice how your ship loses speed as we rise. Okay? That's because we're climbing away from the planet, so we lose speed as we go higher, just like a ball does when thrown in the air. The higher you are, the slower your orbit will be. Notice that the MUN's orbit speed is around... MUN? Prograde again. To circulate, circulate. Okay. Here we are. Same as before. Turn your ship to face the prograde, which we are. Mind that we're probably facing the other way right now, so the prograde marker might not be visible. Once you're facing the right direction, fire at the engine and watch the periapsis. Keep burning. Prograde orbit is nearly circular. So that's 800. There. And that's how you change the size of your orbit. This maneuver should come in quite handy. Next, we'll look into changing your orbital inclination. No, the mud. Okay, your orbital inclination is the angle between your orbit and Kerbin's equator. If you manage to maintain a reasonable amount of control so far, we should be nearly 0 degree. How do you know whether you are or not? Oh, okay. Alright, I guess. That is, even though we're changed the altitude of our orbit, it's still the same inclination. Changing the inclination is done by thrusting at a 90-degree angle to your prograde vector without changing your pitch relative to the surface. On our present nearly equatorial orbit, prograde is due east. That means you have to increase our inclination so our orbit takes us into higher latitudes. And we can burn. Okay. If all that just makes your head spin, the nav ball once again shows me nothing. Comes to your rescue. In this case, you will need to use the normal vector Okay. And open the throttle. Just a burn north to tilt up. That's because we're accelerating. Toward normal until your inclination is about 10 degrees. Okay. Inclination 7.9, 7.8, 8.7, 8.9, 9.9. Yep. There. Okay, inclination. Good. This is how you change your orbital inclination. For these maneuvers, it's always better to do it in the slowest parts of the orbit so you don't have to spend as much delta V to turn your orbit around. That also means inclination changes on larger orbits such as we are on now. It takes less fuel than the same inclination change on a lower orbit. Also keep in mind that changing inclination doesn't necessarily mean accelerating to the north or south. It just means accelerating at the right angles to your prograde vector, which is our nearly equatorial orbit. Also happens to be towards the north. Next, let's look at the last essential maneuver you'll need to learn: lowering your orbit. Okay. As you can imagine, lowering your orbit's altitude is very much like raising it, only in reverse. As there's no air up here, we can use our main engines to decelerate as well as accelerate, because the ship's orientation will not cause problems with the airflow, and flying backwards is easy as flying forwards. Since our orbit is nearly circular, we can just turn retrograde and burn at any time now, so let's get to it. Turn towards the retrograde vector and start the engine up again. Okay. And start the engine up again. 20,000. What? Keep running retrograde. And perhaps until the altitude's around 20,000 meters. Try to get as close as possible this time. Wait, what? 20,000. That's low enough to hit the atmosphere. Now on a re-entry course to Kerbal. Once we're below 60,000 meters, the atmosphere will start slowing the ship down to the point that it doesn't have enough velocity to rise back up again. This is all we need for this lesson. You can keep playing and either perform more maneuvers or ride the path down to a landing. Or you can skip the next lesson. If you do try for a landing, don't forget to decouple the capsule and deploy the parachutes. See you on the ground. Alright. Let's go back here. And where am I at? What's our speed? So if we agent having fun? I'll just burn our fuel up and see what happens. Well, a couple of them are enjoying it. Huh. I don't know. We are dropping. Not much. But we are falling. Falling. What's that? Can't do that. Wheel out. Wheel in. Normal. Retrograde. We're building speed. I don't know what RCS is, but we'll leave it there. Where are all these things? Huh. Scientist, engineer, pilot. So if we normal, anti-normal, prograde, retrograde, okay, radial out. Reel in. Okay, retrograde. Well, that was interesting. So if we're building speed up. We're dropping. If we prograde and header rockets. Retrograde. Okay, well, we're over water right now. I don't know. I thought this would... I thought we would be falling a little faster than that. Well, we're still a long ways away. This is not good. Our orbit is not decaying. 22,958. Oh, okay. Okay, as we come around. Okay. Alright, that's better to know. Can we, oh yeah. All right, what happened? 63,000 feet. Let's burn all the fuel off, slow us down. Okay, there. May not slow us down enough. That little bar showing up could be bad. Oh, went away. Okay. Whew. That part of the danger's over, I think. Okay, now it's ready to deploy at its leisure. Should okay, 1,000 meters. This is getting, there it goes. Poof. Our surface speed is still crazy fast. Oh, there we go. I don't know. That still seems rather fast to me. 8 meters a second. You give her 24 feet. 26 feet per second. 228, 26, 24 feet per second. That's 240 feet in 10 seconds. 80, 720 feet, 1,400 some feet per minute. And splash! And you guys are all, well, and you're all great. Not that that matters. Well, there you have it. Here we are in space, or, well, here we were in space. And we made it safely back to Earth. Back to Earth. So, hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, remember to hit that like button. Comments, suggestions, feedback, greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you desire. Nothing else to say about that. None of you watch it this far anyway. So, again, I hope you enjoyed it. I thank you for watching, and we'll see you on our next flight.